and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in East Africa, where Kenya and Tanzania are bracing for a cyclone. And this is coming on the heels of torrential rains and floods that have devastated the region, killing nearly 400 people and forcing tens of thousands from their homes across East Africa. Cyclone Hidaya is inching closer to the eastern coast of Tanzania, with an expected landfall later on Friday, and that's according to the latest weather forecast. It is also likely to bring more rain to neighboring Kenya, including in the major coastal city of Mombasa, just north of the eye of the cyclone. Floods in Kenya have already claimed at least 210 lives since March, according to the updated tolls from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration on Friday. The ministry says 125 people have been injured, 90 are missing, and 165,500 people displaced. Ahead of the expected cyclone, President William Ruto's government has also ordered mandatory evacuations for residents near 178 dams and water reservoirs in 33 counties. And the government is warning citizens to remain on alert. Well, in Tanzania, at least 155 people have been killed in the flooding in recent days. And with the arrival of the cyclone, there are more fears of weather disruption. The Tanzania Red Cross Society says the cyclone is expected to dominate and affect the weather patterns in the country, including heavy rain and strong winds in some region near the Indian Ocean. And in the wake of the devastating floods, the Kenyan government says it has set up more than 100 camps to house over 27,000 people. Now, this is a fraction of the more than 190,000 people who have been affected by the floods. So far, 210 people are known to have died, according to government data. President William Ruto is expected to address the nation amid the growing pressure to declare the floods a national disaster. Compulsory evacuation along the rivers in the capital, Nairobi, is ongoing as the government provides logistical support, temporary shelter, and essential supplies to those that have been affected. In the meantime, the United Nations is condoling with these countries, saying it is ready to provide additional support to the national authorities across East Africa who are battling heavy rains and flooding. Speaking from New York, spokesperson for the UN Chief Antonio Guterres, Stephen Dujarric, also extended Mr. Guterres' condolences to those affected. He also expressed his deep distress at the news of the hundreds of lives lost and many others affected by heavy flooding in Burundi, Kenya, Somalia, and Tanzania, as well as other parts of East Africa.
Deep distress at the news of the hundreds of lives lost. The Secretary General expressed his deep distress at the news of the hundreds of lives lost and many others affected by the heavy flooding in Burundi, in Kenya, Somalia, and Tanzania, as well as other parts of East Africa. The United Nations and its partners are working closely with national authorities to address the humanitarian requirements. The Secretary General stresses that the United Nations stands ready to offer any additional assistance that may be needed during this very difficult period. The Secretary General is extremely concerned about the impacts of El Niño-triggered extreme weather, which risks further devastating communities and undermining livelihoods.
And back here in Nigeria, properties worth millions of naira have been destroyed by a windstorm in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, accompanied by a heavy downpour. The situation has exacerbated the water scarcity occasioned by lack of power supply in Taraba, Adamawa, and Gombe states, all in the northern region of the country.
Carnage caused by a windstorm accompanied by a heavy downpour. Properties worth millions, including homes, businesses, electric poles, and schools in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, damaged. The residents tell how they could do nothing but watch helplessly as the windstorm destroyed their properties.
When the rain was about to fall, the breeze just came on and began to blow. All of us were there with the children, and the breeze just took off the roof and throw it at this in the back of the rope of this NEPA wire.
The government says it's aware of the devastation and is taking stock to ensure that those affected get the needed support. According to the government, over 2 million economic trees are being planted across the 16 local government areas to curb the growing danger.
What we did as a first response or responders is to direct our disaster managers and above all emergency response team to go around and take inventory of all those areas that are affected by this natural disaster. That's the first step, because that is the only way we will definitely come up with what needs to be done for them.
This natural occurrence has compounded a no power, no water situation in the state capital, Jalingo. The residents say for more than a week they have been grappling with the no power situation, which has crippled economic activities and forced them to depend on generating set despite the hike in the pump price of petrol. They have also had to depend only on water trucks for their daily supply of water. According to the management of the Yola Electricity Distribution Company, the lack of power supply is due to the vandalism of electricity infrastructure between just the Plateau State capital and Gombe State, which has plunged states like Gombe, Adama and Taraba into total darkness for over a week.
We are suffering to get water here, and I think it is due to lack of power supply. In the cemetery where I work, most times we do not know what to do due to lack of water supply. And in some instances, people volunteer. How much is fuel? We run into losses daily.
4 local government areas of Takum, Donga, Wukari and Jalingo have been affected by the windstorm, and the residents are appealing that attention be paid to the flawed prediction of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency.
Speaking of issues of an epileptic power supply in the southeast of Nigeria, it may in no distant time become a thing of the past in Imo State. This follows the signing into law of the new Imo State electricity bill by Governor Hope Uzodimma, who says all 27 local government areas in the state will soon enjoy uninterrupted power supply. The governor adds that his administration is in agreement with an Egyptian firm, Elsewedi Electric Company, for the generation, transmission and distribution of electricity to all parts of the state within the next 8 months.
Members of the Imo State House of Assembly are here at the Government House, Owerri, for the signing into law of the Imo State Electricity Bill by Governor Hope Uzodimma. The arrival of the governor signals the commencement of this all-important event. Straight to work, the governor is presented with the document for assent. After signing the bill into law, the governor speaks on the importance of the bill and how it will change the face of power generation in the state.
Today marks another milestone in the development of our dear Imo State, as we have taken our prosperity agenda to another notch through these bills. The Imo State electricity law will bring rapid developments to not only our rural communities, to the urban centers.
Earlier, the governor and his team of development partners had embarked on an inspection tour of the 378 megawatts Egbema power plant in Ohaji Egbema local government area of the state, a federal government project conceived under the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and abandoned since 2006. According to the governor, to make power generation a success story, the federal government has graciously granted the state's request to take over the Egbema power plant, rehabilitate the facilities, and rely on same to solve the electricity challenge of the state in line with the renewed hope agenda.
Recently, I've approached the federal government to partner with Imo State government and her partners to take over this plant. In the wisdom of Mr. President,
I think he is almost there. Only the necessary processes are being carried out. The naval and operations. Part of the reasons for this inspection is to see the extent to which the job has been completed, identify the gaps where things have to be done, and also be able to determine future challenges that may impair the seamless completion of the project. And then a very bold decision will be taken for us to create a win-win situation for all parties involved.
The governor says he is optimistic that in 12 months, Imo State's story with regards to effective power generation, supply and consumption will be positively different.
In Liberia, the president, Joseph Boakai, has signed an executive order to establish the country's first war crimes court, more than 20 years after the end of two civil wars that killed 250,000 people. Mr. Boakai says Liberia had endured downpours of agony in the 1989 to 2003 conflicts that saw atrocities including mass killings, rape, and the forced recruitment of child soldiers. Critics in the country have opposed the creation of the court, saying it risks reopening old wounds. But President Boakai says the court would help ferret the causes and effects of the violence and also bring about justice and healing. Well, international allies have welcomed the move, with the U.S. saying it would support the court. This is the first major step towards creating a war crimes court in Liberia. A Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, was set up in 2006 by former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, but it was not a tribunal. In 2009, the TRC identified a list of people to be prosecuted for war crimes, but no action was taken. Russian troops have been deployed to an air base in Niger, where American soldiers are located. Well, the move comes after Niger military rulers ordered the U.S. to withdraw their troops who had been countering Islamic insurgents in the region. Well, the U.S. troops are preparing their departure. U.S. officials say Russian forces are present at the base in Niamey, Niger's capital, but are not mingling with American troops. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the Russians posed no risk to U.S. forces, confirming the reports from Honolulu, Hawaii on Thursday.
You asked about Niger and Russians being in the same space that we're in Niger. I think you know that Air Base 101, where our forces is a Nigerian Air Force base that is co-located with an international airport in the capital city. The Russians are in a separate compound and don't have access to U.S. forces or access to our equipment. And this is something that, you know, again, I'm always focused on the safety and protection of our troops, something that we'll continue to watch. But right now, I don't see a significant issue here in terms of our force protection.
A dozen Malawians have been arrested in Israel for leaving their designated workstations and farms to seek employment in a town. Malawian authorities say they are among 40 foreign workers who abandoned their farm work in southern Israel to seek jobs at a bakery in the city of Tel Aviv. It's not clear if Malawi is engaging with Israeli authorities about the matter, but authorities are urging Malawians there to respect the terms of their employment and avoid engaging in illegal activities. The group fled the Arava and Lion farms and have been detained at a maximum security prison in South Tel Aviv, near Shapira neighborhood, pending deportation. Their escape follows allegations of slave-like treatment of some foreign workers on other Israeli farms. Well, last year, 221 Malawians departed for Israel to work as farm laborers in a labor export deal signed between both countries in 2022. The deal is aimed at generating more foreign exchange revenue for Malawi and providing employment opportunities for its citizens. Welcome to our Africa Tech segment, a dialogue between female entrepreneurs and stakeholders in micro, small and medium enterprises sector is seeking to address the challenges and opportunities faced by women in the economic landscape. Through an MSME stakeholders engagement series for women-led enterprises, a platform is provided for women entrepreneurs to be empowered to overcome barriers and scale their businesses sustainably, as well as connect with fellow business owners in the ecosystem.
It's a stakeholder engagement series for women-led MSME enterprises focusing on building financial resilience and leveraging technology. The event is a platform for female entrepreneurs to exchange ideas and gain perspectives on overcoming economic challenges in today's business landscape.
Then we'll have a capacity building program for skills.
The Senior Special Advisor to the President on Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Digital Economy says the goal is to empower women with the tools and knowledge needed to thrive in an ever-changing environment.
All the critical issues that MSMEs face, it's an opportunity for us to have an inclusive engagement where we can sit down and talk about it, and you can be better empowered to propel your business to the next level. And the good thing about strategy is that you can tailor it to your business.
A panel discussion featuring esteemed female entrepreneurs gives room for the ladies to share their experiences and strategies for success.
You have to make your customers emotionally attached to you. You see, we're at a time where social media is saturated. Everybody is jumping on different strategies. Because you think this person is doing it, you go to that direction. You have to be original. You have to know what works for you.
You may be doing something amazing, but you are just not online. Google your name, what comes out? Google, as I'm talking, be doing it. Google your business name, what comes out? Start from there. We are here to make it practical and real.
Banky has talked about technology. Technology is so important. You can use technology to be more efficient. You can use technology to sell. Use technology to be more productive. And then, depending on whatever business you do, you have to look for the technology that will help your business.
The gathering also gives the government an opportunity to reaffirm its commitment to supporting MSMEs, particularly those led by women.
As we go into states and listen to the complaints of SMEs and somewhat hear their struggles, we move in with some of the federal government and state government agencies who should ordinarily be responsible for the day-to-day running of those businesses.
The MSME Stakeholders Engagement Series for women-led enterprises not only allows for meaningful connections and collaborations among female entrepreneurs, it also gives room for the ladies to bear their minds on issues affecting their businesses.
And in a bid to create a better life and community where things run smoothly, a Nigerian tech startup, Eden Life, is driving innovation by digitizing home services. Now, through its mobile app, the startup connects users with professional home managers called gardeners, helping them outsource and automate their home chores.
Meet the team at Eden Life, a tech-enabled startup navigating challenges and shaping the future of home care.
Hi guys.
Founded in 2019, the innovative home services platform has taken strides to automate household chores for busy individuals, particularly targeting millennials and Gen Z professionals.
We're trying to help people live better and help people put their chores, their home chores, on autopilot. So your feeding, your laundry, your cleaning will help you take care of all of that, so you don't have to worry and you can use that time for something else.
Eden Life is basically, I like to think of it as an Alexa that can physically do stuff, right? So Eden Life automates everything about home chores, food, cleaning, laundry, just so you never have to think about it.
The platform, developed by 3X and Delans, provides a unique solution to challenges of modern living based on their personal experiences of struggling to manage domestic tasks while juggling their careers.
It was a big problem trying to get food, do my laundry, cleaning. So we just came together and say, what if we had a service that could automate that could do all of that for us, and we just pay a certain amount of money every month. And that's how Eden was born.
Through its mobile application, Eden simplifies life by automating essential chores such as food delivery, laundry, and cleaning, leveraging a network of well-vetted professionals known as gardeners. On the app, users can schedule services with ease, freeing up valuable time and energy.
On the surface, like outside, it's very simple. You have an interface, on the web or mobile app, you sign up, you select a new plan, and that's it. Or you select like a laundry plan. But internally, the operations are very complex because we have a combination of software engineers, chefs, operations folks that make sure everything runs together to make it a success.
Eden Life has strategically positioned itself as a go-to platform for busy urbanites, especially those in the tech industry. However, beyond the initial buzz, the tech startup faces its own headwinds.
Maybe funding, because having the funds to ensure that the business keeps running, sometimes we get to a point where we are almost out of funds. And then we're like, oh, what's going to happen next? Are we going to shut down? Where do we get funds from? How do we pay staff and all of that? And then, miraculously, we get more funds from other investors to help us just keep running the business. Another challenge too is also in getting quality talent to be able to do what we do here, because operations can be really intensive at Eden. So you need people that are ready to walk the walk, and talk the talk.
Embodying a vision of a simplified and efficient lifestyle, the tech startup continues to redefine home care services, providing a glimpse into the future of automated living.
And finally, on the program, a Nigerian woman says she has painted over 4,000 nails in 72 hours in an attempt to break the world record. 19-year-old Lisha Dako in Plateau State, northern Nigeria, had a 3-day marathon adorning hundreds of fingernails. Well, Guinness World Record, GWR rules state that for her attempt to count, she must paint 60 fingernails per hour. She is now waiting for GWR to review her attempt after she submits her evidence. Ms. Dako said she embarked on this challenge to change the narrative about teen mothers like herself. The nail technician has been working professionally for almost 3 years and says she also wants to put women from northern Nigeria in the spotlight. Wish her all the best. And that's it on the program for today and for the week. Thank you so much for always being a part of it. I'm Layo Olaride. Have a lovely weekend.